attend this yatra every year. Yatras are enlivening. I'm not going to miss it.
Yatras are simply awesome.
Yatra is a very different experience.
Yatra means spiritual advancement and I love it.
Kartik Yatra is a glimpse of spiritual world for me.
Whatever happens in this world, in my life, I am there for the yatra every day.
I extend my sincerest gratitude to each and every one of you for being with us for our pilgrimage.
The Radha Gopinath temple has got many attractive features. The most important features are, number one, the counseling system of devotee care for the large congregation of Vaishnavas. Number two, the ecstatic annual drama festival, which takes place for the last more than about 25 years. Then you have the festive moods created by the Sunday love feast, the Srimad Bhagavatam classes, the long kirtans, the Sharad Purnima, the Pushya Abhishek, and so many other festivals all around the year. The fourth is the Yatras, which is inaugurated in the year 1986 by Radhanath Swami Maharaj.
There was a time when handful of devotees would go along with His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj.
Habit is the memory of a previous experience of pleasure, and in the spiritual association we need to replace that with memories of experience of pleasure, the association of devotees. And one such occasion is visits to the holy dhams, as Rupa Goswami has already described the 5 most potent forms. One of them is visiting holy places.
the more time we spend in planning, yatra becomes better.
I must say that the yatras today are very much doable for the entire family. They have been structured in such a way that everyone can attend a yatra. In those days, it would be impossible to take a little baby or to take an aged person, elderly parents on yatra. But today, the way the yatras have been structured, I think the whole family can enjoy, be together in a yatra and enjoy the dham.
Families bond together, children come together, ladies get a chance, men. So it is not just the wonderful experience of the holy dham, which is of course the major motivator to come, but also just everyone going together, spending time together, during prasad, after prasad, small groups, one-on-ones. You meet so many people from 40, 50 different centers. So these things have become fundamental platform on which a spiritual life has progressed.
Maharaj would be very keen that we attend the yatras because we were students. We would not be like brahmacharis staying in the temple all the time, engaged in some service in temple. So he would be very keen that we attend the yatras.
The yatras in those days were spontaneous. It appeared like just Maharaj said, let's go on a yatra, and we were all ready. We were all youngsters, and we would just say, okay Maharaj. He was like the Pied Piper and we were like the transcendental rats. Wherever he went, playing on his flute of Krishna's pastimes, we would just go with him.
There was a time when we would book the tickets for all the devotees on the train, and this, you can understand, was very difficult.
And I remember in one of the yatras, one devotee was, standing right there in front of the berth and giving coaching to everyone. So, Tumhara naam ye hai, your age is this. Tumhara naam ye hai, your age is this. Tumhara naam ye hai, your age is this. And the TC was standing right behind, and he was hearing the whole thing. And he said, Mera naam TC hai. And now you take out so much fine. So then at some point we decided this is not going to work, so everyone was asked to make their own ticket arrangement. Otherwise, previously, everything was being done from the temple side for quite a few years, including booking of the tickets.
All of us were actually staying, in the same type of accommodation. It was not as if, there was a class within us. Everybody stayed together.
And then depending on the number of rooms, we would all be grouped. The element of surprise was always there.
During the yatra, we were staying in the Fogla ashram. Now this Fogla ashram was it was actually ashram. There were no facilities, there were no good toilets or good rooms. It was just a small room of, I would say, just 180 square feet. There was a wooden cot on that, and devotees, 4 or 5 devotees used to sleep on that. There were no mattresses, nothing. Devotees used to carry their own beddings and everything with mosquitoes, and there was just one small bulb. I just remember His Grace Krishna Chandra Prabhu. We came to know in the morning that he is also staying on the same floor with us in Fogla ashram. I was just shocked that a person who stays at Nepean Road, Alta Mount Road in such a huge bungalow, staying there with all that meager facilities. I was just ashamed that we are thinking of so much facilities, but see here, what kind of facilities he is living, and he was ready just because to attend the yatra, just to be with devotees.
Austerities would become exciting. We were at Badrinath and I saw one Mataji, young, dynamic Mataji. I don't want to name her, embarrass her. She was walking barefoot on the snow for hours. That was the first time I went and I was really shocked. She was so absorbed in the holy name. She was just kind of walking on the snow. I was austerities were exciting.
One incident I remember from an old Badrinath Yatra. Actually, I was not fortunate enough to be on the Yatra myself. This must have been 1987 or 88 at most. Our first Badrinath Yatra in the very cold, it was snowing, and Srinaji Prabhu, my father-in-law, was on this Yatra. And when they came back and I spoke to everybody about the Yatra, they said, oh my goodness, yeah, it was so wonderful, but it was so difficult considering the environment and the accommodation and the snow, and we really weren't prepared for this. But they said, you know something, what we remember most about this Yatra is that we'd have such long days, we'd go to sleep completely exhausted in the night, and it would be so cold, we'd be shivering inside our blankets. But 4 o'clock in the morning, Srinaji Prabhu would come, he would knock on everybody's doors in the morning. All the Prabhujis, all the Matajis, and this is something we can't even think of today. Imagine a Prabhuji going and knocking on all the Matajis' doors and saying, wake up, Jeev Jago, it's time.
At Ahobilam, we are supposed to climb this Ugra Stamba. Even the oldest person, he himself was surprised how he made it. Even the oldest people, and in fact, Maharaj told after returning back, if I knew how steep the climb was, I would not have allowed any of the older people, the Varishta Vaishnavas, to climb. Everyone went happily and came back safely.
Before that real yatra took place, a group of advanced party devotees that included my father Radha Krishna Prabhu, Sri Nandanandan Prabhu, and one local guide. They went to check out the place. The local guide did not even know where the Ugra Stambh is, and they kind of went around searching, and it was so hot in the month of June that they would put one foot on the stone. By the time they lifted the second foot, it was burnt. Like till date, my father has scars on his feet, because the walking on those mountains with bare feet was not very easy. That's why when they came back and they started making rules for the upcoming adventurous Ahobilam Yatra, it was specified that for this part of the Yatra in South India, everyone please wear your shoes and socks, and Matajis were allowed to wear the salwar suit for that.
And also in many dhams, we actually had no idea what the dham was going to be like. In those early days, most of us had never visited these dhams. Neither was the internet that you could get information about what this dham was going to be like. Hampi completely took us by surprise. We had no idea that it was going to present itself like that in the form of boulders and huge hills where Hanumanji played with. One of the first few places we come to is the beautiful Pampa Sarovar, a lake in the middle of nowhere, and Maharaj said this was the lake where Sri Ramchandra ji every morning would bathe in these waters, and I want all of you to, in that mood of total surrender, to also take bath in this. So one of the most enthusiastic persons was Krishna Chandra Prabhu, following in the footsteps of his illustrious father, being the servant of Lord Ramchandra ji. He jumped into Pampa Sarovar, little realizing that he had his glasses on. And the moment he emerged, he found he had no glasses. He could not see. He was almost as blind as a bat. And then there was the search party of all good swimmer devotees who would try to go inside Pampa Sarovar, try to look in the waters, but there was no visibility in the waters. And we had the difficult terrain to climb up, which was Hanumanji's birthplace, and Krishna Chandra Prabhu just holding on to people, holding on to rocks. He reached right up, and Maharaj said also, see, this is living proof that the Lord helps even the blind climb up mountains.
In an army, the soldiers move on their bellies. So also in a yatra, if the devotees get nice, sumptuous prasad, they forget their problems of accommodation and travel and other minor things.
And I remember the first time the Govardhan cooking happened, where small stoves were made, devotees were cooking, and in the as part of the cooking, so many bhoga items were made and it was offered in front of Giriraj. It was such an amazing experience. And when I saw across and I saw all these hundreds of bhoga offerings, the thought which came in my mind is, we have already cooked in the kitchen also, and all these bhoga offerings have been made. You know, how will it get consumed? And then I started thinking, oh, we should do food for life. Probably to the pilgrims who are going on parikrama, we may have to distribute. Otherwise, there is no way all of this prasad is going to get consumed. But then once we took all that Mahaprasad back to the pandal and started distributing, within 1 hour, practically the mountains of that Mahaprasad, along with all the prasad we cooked, everything got consumed. And then there was some local person whom we wanted to appreciate and give them some Mahaprasad. And I was searching for one pot. And I could not find a pot of Mahaprasad anywhere. And then I went and saw one devotee was sitting there surrounded by 15 pots, as if he is Giriraj himself, and there is Annakud going on. And I said, I should have directly asked that I want a pot. He had not yet begun. I just said, ये आप सब खा लेंगे क्या? So he looked at me angrily and said, आपका क्या जाता है? ये तो मेरा प्रॉब्लम है, मैं खा लूँगा. So I said, no, I actually want one pot. बोला ऐसा बोलो ना. And then he gave one pot to me.
In those days, it was so spontaneous. Maharaj, he'd be so inspired to speak about different places, little temples on the way, the kunds on the way. So anywhere he'd stop and he'd give a long lecture sometimes, and sometimes he'd say, okay, now everyone just bathe. We have 5 minutes, take bath in these waters. So there would be no time to change into different clothes, come out and change back into dry clothes. So whatever clothes you're wearing in those saris, we'd have the dip, we'd come out, and again we'd start running after Maharaj.
pastimes of Sri Krishna and the inhabitants of Vrindavan are ever increasing. One name of Krishna is Rasaraj, which means he is the king of loving exchanges. So even when his devotees accuse him, it is only meant to increase the love affairs amongst themselves.
Maharaj, we all know what an amazing storyteller he is. And he would start graphically describing those pastimes. Literally, we felt we were transported to that place.
It was like a whole movie getting played because the descriptions were so accurate.
After washing the pot, he was sitting under a tree at Govinda Kund and he began to doze off. And then that same boy appeared to him in a dream and revealed that he was Krishna.
So those experiences of heart really perceiving how when a pure Vaishnava speaks, he is not speaking just only which he has read, but he is speaking what has actually happened.
I was in maybe 8th standard in school. Once it was like 2 o'clock at night where we were almost about to reach Radha Kund. And all the devotees were so tired, they were like dragging their feet, bus kabhi aayega, when will this be done? And as soon as Maharaj heard that down the next couple of miles is Radha Kund, the way the entire gang of devotees in the front started flying, Maharaj was flying in the air, like as soon as, when will I reach Radha Kund? The entire speed at which he flew, the devotees were so enthusiastic and they just caught on with that enthusiasm and we reached Radha Kund, and this entire spirit of we finally reached the crest jewel of Govardhan Parikrama.
भागना जो था महाराज का देखने के बाद ऐसा लग रहा था कि वो गिरिराज को देख के उनके हृदय में आनंद सा पैदा हो गया था.
When you think of Mayapur, you also think of going to Srivas Angan. Maharaj gave a mandate to a small group of devotees. Dance here till you die. He said it is glorious to die doing Harinam at Srivas Angan. This is the place where Harinam has begun in this world.
The quality which attracts me for this yatra, firstly, His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj's Kirtan. Secondly, is that Bhakto ka Prem, जो हमें सबको मिला है. Thirdly, is the Prasadam that you all know.
About the Damodar Ashtakams in the evenings, when Maharaj would gather everybody, and a sight to see thousands of ghee lamps all over the place, in every nook and corner of the Krishna Balaram temple. And then the Harinam which goes on even after the temple doors are closed, because nobody can stop the Kirtan crescendo which Maharaj has yet to reach even after 9 p.m. And Kirtan goes on till about 10 p.m. We are completely exhausted, sweating every pore of our body completely.
Ishwaram Satchit Anandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Prajamanam Yasoda Biyolukala Davamanam Param Rishyamatyanta Todrutya Gopya
My time spent in yatras are one of the most cherished, treasured and inspiring moments of my Krishna consciousness.
With the number of devotees increasing, if we have the right spirit, it remains fully exciting. And I see Maharaj himself. There is absolutely no difference. To him, he is the same. Excitement is the same. This is every aspect of what we used to receive is the same. In fact, the only thing that increases is an opportunity to serve the devotees.
There are so many yatras. So we felt that we are just moving on from one yatra to another. And Maharaj said, yes, the goal is to make your entire life into a beautiful yatra.